Cooksy Mob, what's happening? Hey guys, so we have some interesting off-season stuff with Eli Tomac training with Danger Boy Deegan. This has got to be one of the coolest and most talked about pairings I've seen in a long time. I'm going to give you the real story as to why Jeff Alessi passed away. Stop with the rumors, people. I'm going to give you a limited amount of details because the family wants to keep them private, but stop with these fake rumors. It's not cool. And also, I want to congratulate the USA ISD team, and I'll talk a little bit more about them and Cole Martinez and Taylor Robert and some of the guys on that team that just really represented for the United States. But let's get into this thing.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
So I want to talk about Eli Tomac training with Haiden Deegan. This is brilliant. This is something the Tomacs have done for quite a long time. They always they have a history of bringing in 250 riders. It started with Zach Osborne, who eventually I feel like stabbed him in the back a little bit, but that's who Zach Osborne is. But then he brought in Jeremy Martin. That went really well. And now he's bringing in Haiden Deegan. And now, while this is going to benefit Haiden Deegan tremendously, and that's kind of what everyone's focusing on, I think you guys are missing the point in how much this actually helps Eli Tomac. If you guys follow MMA, you know who Randy Couture is. He's one of the greatest UFC heavyweight champions of all time. There's stories about him where even while he was UFC champion, he would go to the local high school to train with wrestlers and the kids. And people were asking him like, dude, why are you going to a high school gym? You're the UFC champion. And he said, listen, I like to be around these young kids. They have a different kind of enthusiasm, and it rubs off on me. It keeps me young. It keeps me thinking correctly. It keeps me in the right headspace. And that's exactly what Eli Tomac is doing with Danger Boy Deegan. You know, obviously Tomac is near the end of his run, and he's probably only got a couple years left. And you know, he's at that point where every year we're kind of doing the Brett Favre, will he or will he not retire? I think if he can get someone like Danger Boy Deegan around him and keep that fire going, I think as long as Tomac has the ability to win and he's having fun, I think he could stick around for a couple more years. It is funny how these guys are past 30, you know, and they're sticking around. And then a lot of people are worried about his Achilles injury. And now I feel like I can definitely talk about the Achilles injury. That's something I have suffered. I snapped my Achilles tendon. It sucked. Now, it wasn't the most painful injury in the world, but it lingered for a really long time. I don't think it's going to affect Eli Tomac. He's a world-class athlete, and I'm sure he's had the best surgery, the best rehab. But the one thing that you've got to watch, and he won't know this until he's actually racing, it messes with your balance. Balance is one of the most important and underrated things that a motocross rider can have. So if Tomac is his balance on that left leg, or the leg that had I think it was the left that he snapped the Achilles on, but if he has balance that is 80% compared to 100% of what it was before, it changes the entire entire metrics of how you weight things, and it just changes. And it could go from the difference between first and fifth place in the sport is not very much. So that's something to watch. I don't think it's going to be an issue, but the one thing you worry about with the Achilles tendon is not the re-snap, because the way they rebuild these, they're actually stronger than it was initially. So I don't think he's worried about re-snapping it. But what he does have to worry about is regaining the balance. And that's the issue that I had with mine. I don't know what he has, because like I said, we're different levels of people. He's a world-class athlete, I'm me. So that's something I'm going to be watching pretty early in the season to see if he's a little bit off. I might contribute it to balance. And like I said, it's not a huge issue. And what happens is that tendon now will have some arthritis in it. When that arthritis kicks in, your body naturally compensates and it throws that weight off. But either way, I am so happy to see him training with Danger Boy Deegan. He will benefit. Deegan will benefit. I mean, dude, who honestly, if you had Haiden Deegan out there and you said, who is the guy that you'd want to mentor after and be like and learn from? I don't think there's a better person than Eli Tomac or the Tomac family. They have done it right. They're a family that hasn't had a lot of the pitfalls that a lot of families have. A lot of families, and this sport's brutal the way that you grow up with your dads. Dads and sons have a weird relationship in this sport. And for Brian and the Deegans to kind of follow the Tomacs and kind of learn from them, why not learn from a family who's stayed together, done it the right way, and brought home championships? And Eli's an all-time great. Why wouldn't you learn from them? I think it's a great situation for all involved. Guys, if you want a hydration drink that tastes good and works better than anything I've ever used, hit up Energy Fuel. Go to the Coach Rob store and order yourself some Energy Fuel. The stuff is amazing. And guess what, guys? Rob won't sign off on this, but I use it sometimes if I go out drinking. I got some Energy Fuel when I'm done, and guess what? I feel pretty good the next day. It's not a hangover cure, but it kind of is. Epic Garage Designs. Epic is got some of the coolest stuff for your garage. Racks, slat wall, flooring. Just get yourself a floor. $17.95. Ship it anywhere in the country. Snap it together yourself and make your garage look as badass as Club MX's showroom. All right, guys. So this is troublesome to me. This bothers me. And it really pisses me off that a lot of people are out there speculating and they have no information. They're clearly, they haven't talked to anyone. They don't know the situation around Jeff Alessi. Jeff Alessi did not commit suicide. Jeff Alessi did not take fentanyl. Those are two things that did not actually happen. What I'm going to break down for you is what actually happened, but I'm going to keep a lot of the details because the family doesn't want them out there, nor is it my place to give them to you. But I will tell you, he had COVID prior to his passing. He was recovered, but we all know what COVID does. It makes it so you have blood clots a little bit easier. He received some sort of a bruise. Then this bruise turned into a blood clot. That's what they believe caused his heart attack. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. It was horrible. Jeff was in a great state of mind. Jeff was not on painkillers. This was just a freak, horrible deal that with a combination, and like I said, I'm speculating just a little bit because they're still, they're doing the autopsies and checking for everything. But what it looks like right now is a blood clot, possibly from a bruise, which he might have been more susceptible to post having COVID, got into his heart, and that was it, man. It's so sad. It's tragic. My heart goes out to the entire Alessi family. Please stop spreading these rumors. And, with that said, suicide and fentanyl, they are big issues in the motocross, with motocrossers and former motocrossers. It is a very, very big problem, and I've talked about it extensively in some of my other videos. This is not one of those cases. This is a freak deal that is just tragic that someone so young who had so much to offer is gone, man. It sucks. And, the sport is worse off without Jeff Alessi. Despite what you thought you knew about him, trust me, you didn't know him. And I didn't know him that well either, but I've learned a lot more since then about him. Man, there's a lot of layers to Jeff Alessi. He was a very smart, intelligent, dedicated, and absolutely badass dude, and we're going to miss him. And now, the ISDE team. The ISDE team went down to, I say down because when I look at a map, it's down, went to Argentina, and it was awesome. They smoked the world in ISDE. And now, anytime you can raise your country flag and represent the way that Taylor Robert, Cole Martinez, and I apologize for not knowing the other guys on the team, but they won this thing. They dominated. I will say, though, in Argentina, looking at the pictures and videos that I saw, this is a lot like Southern California and Nevada desert, which our guys are right at home on. So great job. My hat's off. You guys are patriots. I appreciate you guys going down there, representing for the red, white, and blue. Yes, the United States, not the red, white, and blue France. We call it the red, white, and blue because that's what we do in the United States. We're that arrogant. I don't know what else to say. But hey, we won. Congratulations, Cole Martinez, Taylor Robert, and the rest of the team. Oh, shout out to Brandy Richards, probably the fastest woman on a dirt bike. Even though she doesn't race motocross, she is so good. It's ridiculous. She would smoke most men, period. So anyway, guys, if you want some goggles or a really badass shirt, hit up Strapped. Go to their website, ridestrapped.com. They've got the Let's Go Brandon goggles. They've got the Red Pill t-shirts. Really cool company. Hit them up. And if you're shipping anything via truck, use Precision Transport. Precision Transport has not forgot about customer service. These guys are badass. They support motocross. They support MMA. They get it. And guess what? They're going to get your package there, and they're actually going to follow up and do the things that, that some trucking companies don't do. If you've had to deal with some of these trucking companies, in fact, I had to deal with one last week that someone else sent something to me. Oh my God, it was a nightmare. I almost ended up fighting the two drivers out in front of my house. It was a nightmare. I wish they had used Precision Transport. It would have been a lot better. So anyway, guys, that's it for now. But rest in peace, Jeff Alessi. We're going to miss him. He was an asset to the sport, and he was a good human being. And if you guys see any of those rumors on any of those chat boards, set them straight. He did not take pain pills. He did not commit suicide. This was a freak, weird occurrence, and he's gone too soon. So thanks, guys. Remember, subscribe, and I'll catch you later.